was we had to stitch together 107,000 pictures, which is quite a lot. And then we use 800 photographers with 800 assistants to cover the 400 kilometers in 45 minutes, which was the time that we had the human chain was held together. The whole final image weighs 295 gigabytes, but it's not actually the size of the image, but all the archives that compose the program we need to view the image, which are like over 4 million files at the end. We spent several months trying to find a software that we could use that could make not an easy job, but something that we could afford, and that could still stitch the pictures and get some decent result. We were thinking about something like the programs that used to make the Street View. There's a lot of programs like that, but what we found is that they designed to work with 360 images. We thought naively at the beginning that working in 2D will be easier then, and we found out that it's actually far more difficult, and none of these programs could do it. So at the end, after a lot of research, we end up contacting VilaWeb, which is a research group of the University of Girona about computer vision and robotics. They have quite a large experience on working with large images. Not exactly the kind of image that we wanted, because the problem is that what we did the opposite of you should do when you want to stitch pictures together. I mean, when you do a gigapano or a big picture, which is basically a big image that is made of several smaller images that get stitched together, what you have to do is to take pictures of something that it's not moving. So when the parts of the image that you want to stitch together are the same in both pictures, so you can do it. And as well, you have to take the pictures all from the same point, so they have the same perspective. You change the angle of view of the camera to take the different views, but because you're not moving the camera, the perspective is the same. We did the opposite. We were shooting people from quite close, and obviously people were moving because they were having fun. There was a good mood in all the chain, so there was quite a lot of movement. And as well, to cover the 400 kilometers, every time the photographer took a picture, they moved some meters to take the next one. So that makes all the pictures have a different perspective. That makes the final gigaphoto of the Catalan Way towards independence quite unique because of that, and quite difficult as well because of that. That's because of the perspective. There's no way you can make, you have to choose or have a correct alignment of the people or of the background, but both things it's impossible because the people are closer to the camera, so when you move maybe 4 meters, you have a completely new batch of people, but the background it's still the same because it's far away. So that's something that we simply had to choose, and obviously we choose to make the people appear correctly. We had to do the presentation in the afternoon because all the things that the Assemblea does are made of by volunteers, so we all work. So for the media will have been better to do the presentation in the morning, but we had to do it in the afternoon. We chose the 17.14, 5:15, because it's the same time in which the human chain, the La Via Catalana, was started. So it was a way to reflect that. And what I was told later is that obviously we had a countdown in the website, so everybody was quite waiting for it. And because the website, you download images, that's a lot of information, and we had it prepared so with a virtual servers that actually can handle a lot of connections. But the networks, we collapsed the networks because they couldn't handle that much information going up and down. Some of them were professionals, most of them were just amateurs. And then we spent another 6 months. Well, we spent 45 minutes shooting the pictures, and then we spent another 6 months and a half actually, stitching all the work together. So it was a lot of work. I've seen the final web actually running. I spent like an hour yesterday, 1 a.m. in the morning, and that's it. What I've seen of the really final product. Of course, I've seen previous tests, but apart from the people moving and having the camera moving as well, there's the problems of we had 800 photographers, so that means 800 different ways of knowledge and levels of knowledge, ways of shooting it. We had the manual we had for the photographers was very simple and very clear, but obviously everybody shoot it slightly different. And as well, we had 800 different cameras and formats in the files we received later, so that adds piles up to the job. Plus, as well, the huge amount of pictures that we had to manage. Because it was all volunteers, everybody was shooting with their own camera, so that means that the size of the image is different. And there are some cameras that actually they have a different aspect ratio, which is 3:4. But anyway, it meant different file size, different file format. You had to combat all these things. Not that we know. We check it. We had a lot of checks. We were finding. We had some places in which we were missing some pictures. There was a lot of work in recontacting photographers, so we could have those pictures missing. Sometimes we found out there were some sections in which we missed like maybe 4 pictures in the end or some pictures in the end. So we contact the photography index section. Sometimes the photographer didn't have time enough. We did all the instructions were made so you could take the pictures in 20 minutes. So you have the 25 more minutes spare time, so anything went wrong. Anyway, in some places people couldn't finish, but the photographer, everybody was aware of that, so they called the photographer in the next section, and that photographer, when he finished, went back and shoot the rest. So that took time to discover all these things. But yeah, at the end we could all the parts that we missed in the first set of images, we could recover them. The images we finally used, it's 107,000. But we work with more because then we had in some sections we had different sets. Some photographers did it twice just to make sure. In some places they had 2 photographers. It was quite, every section had its own history, to say. No, that's it's image files, but as well it's all because for the viewer you have to kind of break the images into small sections so you can upload the image and watch it. So when you see in the website the image, you know the computer is not showing up the whole image, otherwise it would make it quite slow to watch it. We didn't made it for that purpose, but anyway, you can count the people using the Gigaphoto, but you can count the people that was in the first row. What happened actually in the 11th of September is that in a lot of places, especially all the sections that were in towns or cities, there was a line, there was actually a crowd behind the line. In some places you have like maybe 4 lines, 5 lines, or simply just a concentration of people. So you can count the people in the first row, but anyway you will have to do an interpolation or interpretation of all the people that was actually there. We know a lot of people, famous people that went there. Some of them we know where they went because they actually announced it, but we didn't have time actually to look for that. But anyway, when we were working on it, we were finding a lot of famous people and funny things. But then we just were quite busy, and we've been talking with people in the team that I saw that thing was funny, but nobody actually wrote it down because we were like doing the job and didn't have time for that. I remember, and another friend, another volunteer saw it as well. There was a lot of, I mean, in the Catalan way towards independence, when the whole family. So you can see the fathers with children and the grandparents, everybody, and they actually took a lot of pets. There's a lot of dogs in the chain as well. You can see the whole family, and in one particular place there's a dog that is actually in the chain. So the owners are catching the dog by the hands, and the dog it's a small one which is actually flying with quite his face. The face of the dog is quite. He's not sure what's happening, and we are in as well. So there's a place in which there's a father with her daughter. And in between them, they are holding the teddy bear of the girl, which is doing the chain as well. That's 2 of the things that I remember.